No, 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 no. This is fine. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. So now there will be Bhagavad Gita class till 7 o'clock. Thereafter, at 7 o'clock will be Gaura Arati. So if everyone would like to sit alongside this wall here for the Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, if you can. Or it's better not to have your back towards the deities. So if you want to sit on this side, that's ideal. Yeah. They came to me. Sorry? They came to me and told them that's reception. If you see a pujari, yeah, if you see one, then. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming. Welcome to Bhaktivedanta Manor. So first we'll start off by singing a little prayer. So it's in a call and response fashion. So if you know the words, please participate. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari. Thank you very much. That was very nice. So if everyone can please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So thank you everyone for coming. Today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, which is the final chapter. There is no chapter 19. 18 is the last one. And we are reading from verse 11. No, if you like, you can repeat after me. Na hi deha brita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshataha yastu karma phalatyagi satyagitya vidiyate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Purport: It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna does not enjoy the fruitive results. Who offers everything to Krishna is actually a renouncer. There are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruits should be renounced. So now I will just chant some invocation mantras to seek the blessings. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from chapter 18 verse 11. Here it is said that we have to perform action, and how performing action is inevitable. It cannot be avoided. So the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita explains how our identity is not our body. It goes on to describe that as one changes body from boyhood to youthhood to old age, in that way the soul also passes through to another body after the current body dies. So it's practically perceivable that when a child is young, they have a small face, small bones, tiny fingers, and gradually as they grow older, they grow and their body looks different. It completely changes. The facial features also develop and change. And so in that way we can see that as one grows older, the body is changing. So in that way, the Bhagavad Gita describes in chapter 2 that in the same way that the body is changing but the individual is still the same, that way even after the individual leaves the body, they'll take on a new body, and in so that way there's also a change of body. And so what is the proof that there is a soul? That is our identity. The soul is possessing a body and the body is changing, but what is the proof that there is a soul? So Srila Prabhupada describes that the proof is consciousness, and the nature of consciousness. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki Jai. So the nature of consciousness is to always be active, and therefore we are not able to remain inactive at any time. Now, even if, for example, someone challenges you and says that do nothing, sometimes like when someone's bored or something, or maybe they got like a week off work or something and they don't know what to do and they're just sitting, but it's practically perceivable that it's impossible to remain idle because the mind is always active. In one sense, you can never really do nothing, and so there is always activity. So what's being described here is that there's two options of activity. One is that we can perform activity for Krishna, or the other option is performing activity for our own sense gratification. So here is described that we should offer the results of our activities to Krishna. Now, one may question that, okay, why should I offer the results of my activities? I worked hard for these things. Shouldn't I have the right to enjoy these things? For example, if one is working very hard at a corporate job and they're earning lots of money, someone may question, well, don't I have the right to enjoy that? Well, actually, if we look at it from a universal perspective, if we zoom out, Krishna is the provider of all material elements. He is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. He says in the 10th chapter, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. And so Krishna is also providing the material elements for whatever work we do. For example, if there's a potter and he makes pottery, Krishna is providing the material elements that are required for the potter to make the pot. Krishna is also providing the individual with the intelligence to be able to create the pot. And so in that way, the person may be considered a cause, but he is only the immediate cause. For example, the potter is only the immediate cause of the pot or the pottery. But the universal cause is actually Krishna. Because without Krishna, the potter cannot make the pot. Because if Krishna were not to supply the raw ingredients, then the potter would not be able to make the pot. For example, if you have a chef and he's an amazing chef, if he has no ingredients, if he has no vegetable spices, he cannot make anything. So in that way, the activities we perform and the results of those activities, they come from Krishna only. Now, another aspect is that even when we perform activity, Krishna is providing the result because the result is never guaranteed. For example, if a chef is making something, there's no guarantee that the result, i.e. how the dish will turn out, is going to be good, because many things could happen. There are many defects naturally in a human being, and one is to commit mistakes. So sometimes I've heard some people make the mistake of mistaking sugar for salt. They look quite alike. I don't know if anyone has had that experience. So in that way, the result is not guaranteed. Sometimes obviously it happens that you follow the procedure and the result comes, but the result is never guaranteed. And so when we choose not to offer our results to Krishna, and we're working simply for ourselves, and we're attached to the result of the activity, that attachment can lead to frustration when it doesn't work out, because not everything in life will always go our way. When we are attached to the result, that means we are bound to suffer. It may turn out that things go well and we become overjoyed, or it may turn out that things don't go so well and we become morose. So that is if we do not want to offer our results of our activities to Krishna. Now if we look at the other side of offering the results of our activities to Krishna, it also gives an element of detachment, in the sense that, okay, let me try my best and I'll leave the rest to God. In that way, whether things work out or don't work out, if we know that we've done our best, then we won't be so affected by the result. And therefore, we can remain in a state of equanimity rather than kind of going up and down, up and down. When we're attached to the result of activities, the happiness and distress that is derived is temporary. For example, if like with the same example, if a cook, a chef is making a dish, one day it may turn out well, one day it may turn out not so good, one day it may turn out absolutely fantastic. But these are temporary, because that's one day. What about the next day? Like that. And therefore what the Bhagavad Gita advises is that we should go beyond such temporary material happiness and distress. And it's described in chapter 2 how we should do that. Krishna says that the coming of happiness and distress is like the coming and going of winter and summer seasons. And he says that we should just tolerate. Therefore, when good things happen or bad things happen, we should tolerate. And there's also another verse that is very related to the topic of the results of our activities. It's described in chapter 2. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbu ma tasangasta karmani. Yeah. Here it says, you have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So here it said that one is that you should still perform your duty, even though that the result of your duty is not guaranteed. Still, despite that, you should still perform your duty. And the fruits you're not necessarily entitled to. So one should not adopt the mentality of working with the kind of thought that uh, I've done this, so I must get this in result. Here it also says, never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activity. Like we mentioned with the potter, Krishna has to supply so many things to the potter for him to be able to make the pottery. He has to supply the raw ingredients, the utensils, the machinery, the intelligence. All these things are to be supplied. And so another point in regards to offering things to Krishna is that when we offer things to Krishna, it becomes spiritualized. For example, when we have foodstuffs and we offer these foodstuffs to Krishna, they become spiritualized. And Krishna accepts these foodstuffs. In the Bhagavad Gita is described that Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakti prayachati tad aham bhakti upritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna will accept even a leaf, fruit, flower, or a little bit of water if offered with love and devotion. And so now you may say that yes, I'm offering this to Krishna. This is the result of my activity. My activity is the cooking. The result of my activity is the food stuff, and I'm offering this to Krishna. And when Krishna enjoys this, he accepts the offering, or he eats. Ashnami literally means eats. And so when Krishna eats this, because it becomes in contact with pure spirit, therefore the foodstuff that is offered becomes spiritualized, becomes completely spiritualized. And therefore when we partake in what is left over, we get spiritual benefit like that. Now you may ask that how can Krishna eat? It looks exactly the same as before. So it's described that Krishna can perform the functions of different senses with different senses. For example, he can see with his ears, and he can also taste with his eyes. So simply by glancing at the foodstuff, he can also accept the foodstuff and take the foodstuff. There's a verse in the Brahma Samhita that describes this. Here also it says that we should still perform our duty. Now one may question, what is our duty? There's two ways of looking at it. One is our occupational duty in terms of our profession. Then there is also our eternal duty of realizing our true spirit self, our eternal nature, what is beyond this body, what is our relationship with God. In that way, that is our eternal duty, but we also have a local duty, you could call it, in terms of our occupational duty. So in the Vedic scriptures, it's described that one's occupational duty can be of 4 divisions. And these divisions are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita describes that he himself has created this system. Chartun Varnyam Maya Shishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. He describes that these divisions of society are according to guna and karma, according to quality and work. So there is a common misconception nowadays that the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra divisions, known as Varna or occupational duty, is determined by one's birth, but that is not necessarily so, because here in the Bhagavad Gita is described the division is according to guna and karma, quality and work. For example, if you have a doctor, and the son of a doctor, if he does not go through medical school, he does not automatically become a doctor. Just on the strength of being a doctor's son, he's gonna perform operations in a hospital. He has to go through appropriate school and gain the appropriate qualifications. In other words, he has to acquire the appropriate qualities and do the appropriate work to be able to be considered a doctor. In the same way, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra cannot claim to be so simply on the basis of one's birth. One has to work accordingly. So a Brahmana's work, quality and work is described yajan, yajan, patan, patan, dana, pratigrana. Giving in charity, receiving in charity, learning scriptures, Vedic scriptures, and teaching Vedic scriptures, performing sacrifices and teaching others to perform sacrifices. That is the work of a Brahmana. And the qualities of a Brahmana are like controlling the mind, controlling the senses, tolerance, cleanliness, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. These are described later on in the 18th chapter. And Kshatriya's occupation is as a warrior, administrative class, ruling citizens, protecting citizens, taking care of them. And a Vaishya's occupation is agriculture, taking care of animals, especially cow protection, trading, farming, like that. And a Shudra is a laborer class, kind of like manual work. Yeah. So now we can see that someone may question that this isn't so relevant in today's day and age. There's no yajan, like no one is performing sacrifices. How does that relate? So if we look at not the detail but the principle of a Brahminical nature, we can see that that could relate to something like research and development. A Brahmana is known as the intelligent class of men, and therefore in today's day and age that can be translated to someone doing research and development. For example, like a Kshatriya could be someone like the Prime Minister. He's dealing with worldly affairs, managing the state, taking care of the citizens, seeing that they are well protected and they are happy. Vaishya, trade, mercantile men, that's very popular. Many business owners, businessmen. And Shudras, laborer class, construction, for example. And in today's day and age, it is not so clear in terms of one's varna or occupational divisions, these 4 divisions I'm just describing, because there has been a lot of mix and match. Because of mix and match, like for example, if one parent is, for example, a Brahmana, and another parent, mom or dad either, is like a Kshatriya, then the child will have qualities of both, like that. So because of this, our own varna is very difficult to kind of observe. But with a little introspection, one can kind of get a feeling of where their nature is at. And this kind of also debunks the common misconception that everyone is equal in today's society. That is, in one sense, yes, we are all equal. We are all spirit souls. Said in the Bhagavad Gita that a learned man sees with equal vision a Brahmana, a cow, a dog eater, like that, because these are all just the body. But in one sense, we are not all equal because the body is not the same. The body has different qualities and body has different inclinations. Some people, for example, may be very well suited to one profession, whereas others may not be so. And so we're not all equally suited for everything. Sometimes it's just not our nature. For example, some people, it just may not be their nature to pursue a profession in accounting because maybe numbers just doesn't work for them. Maybe they're more creative, for example. So I think we'll end here. If there's any questions or if anyone has any comments. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you have a nice day. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna. You want to sing? Gaurati will start in about 5 minutes.
Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaura Nitai. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Shobha Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Shobha Janavita Tavane Jagamana Lopa Dakine Nitai Chan Vamegadatara Nikate Advaita Shri Asachatara Vasiya Che Gauracha Ratna Simhasane Arati Kore na Brahma Aditeva Gane Narahari Hari Kori Chamaradula Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Kashihadikaya Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala madhur bhaje. Shankha bhaje, Ganta bhaje, madhur 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 bhaje. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Aho Chandra Jini Vadana Ujwala Kaladeshe Banamala Jalamala Shiva Shukana Radha Premegada Gada Bhaktivedanta dekhe Gaurara sampada Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Shobha Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Shobha Janavita Savane Jagamana Lopa Jagajana Mana Lopa Karangera Radikshapa Jagojana Manalapa Karangera Radikshapa Jagojana Manalopa Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesha Dharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Pramanande, Hare Hare.
Could we all offer obeisances, please? Namo Shupadaya Bhaktivedanta Manor. Namo Shupadaya Putra Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Iti Namine Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की जय, समस्त गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So we'll now sing the Nrsimha prayers. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Singhaya. Pralada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvaksha. Nakalaye. Ito Nrsimho Parato Nrsimho. Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimho. Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhenga Keshavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhenga Keshavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Nrsimha Dev, Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Nrsimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya. बोलो श्री कृष्णदेव भगवान की, बोलो श्री भक्त प्रहलाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You may all have some prasad, they're serving in the reception.